Hey brawlers, I'm Mr. Hoodat, and in this video I'll be showing you how to win with one of the free-to-play heroes, Hoard Dragon. Hoard Dragon is criminally underrated. After tracking over 1,000 of my mythic games, he remains in my top 5 performing heroes with over 50 games played. This is due to him having one of the strongest late games amongst the cast. Once you get to the higher levels, you can use his ability to collect powerful tier 7 treasures. Despite being able to dominate the late game, Hoard Dragon does have a few weaknesses. Since his ability relies on treasures, he is very weak until he can collect them. Heroes that offer no stats are at a huge disadvantage in the early to mid game fights. If you ever get low HP, having to rely on treasures to help you stabilize is very risky, because if you can't find the right treasures for the right situations, it can be deadly. I'll be showing you how to get around these weaknesses by playing for strength as soon as possible. I'll also show how to come up with a creative plan to transition into the endgame. I hope you enjoy. For my first board, Baby Dragon is the best unit by far. There is merit to locking in the Genie, as it's likely to have good value, but with 2 weak units, and Hoard Dragon wanting early Cinderella, it's not a good lock. Dwarves are a great way to get through the early game, with late game focused heroes. They're also good with treasure heroes, as upgrading them becomes fairly easy after getting Dwarven Forge. Selling Dragon for both fannies is a pretty easy decision for these 2 reasons. This next turn is a pretty easy decision for me. Dragon is the best unit for combat, and Chicken is always a good choice to sell for stronger units later. Here is my first major decision point of the game. I can grab all the evil units and look to play an early evil comp to coast into late game, or take the dragon pair and look for Princess White. I decide on sticking with dwarves for now. I take the dragon before the genie because rolling dragon away is more punishing than losing 1 gold from shrink or +1/+1 from gingerbread. I roll into a strong tier 3 dwarf and sell my chicken for it. This next board doesn't offer much for me. I could speculate on Polly for the future, or take Pig as a decently statted unit, but with 2 pairs and 2 slots to fill, I can find much better. After 2 rolls, I find another dwarf to support, and decide on casting Luna's Grace to help me not completely lose this fight. It has more value than normal here on doubly. The Pig pair isn't worth spending 6 gold and a lock for. I want to spend my gold in a more focused manner. Going for too many things wastes too much tempo. The princess shows herself on my last level 3 turn, but it's better late than never. I can now go completely in on dwarves, and try to get Forge off any level 3 upgrade. I hold on to Chicken so I can spend my gold on future turns instead of rolling. I find my dragon triple, and I'm happy to see Deepstone mine. I take the doubly pair, and roll into Bossy. I've now gotten the best level 3 treasure for this comp, as well as have a board full of strong mid-game synergized units. I should be able to get to the late game smoothly now, and utilize Hoard Dragon's late game strength to transition into something powerful. I'm looking to pick up every dwarf now to upgrade my white as soon as possible. I pick up Lucky and roll into a cheap dwarf on my last board. I decide not to freeze the XP spell, as I'm at low health and need all my gold focused on upgrading white next turn. I spend all my gold on dwarves and run into a doubly triple. With 2 chances at forge, I can potentially begin abusing Hoard Dragon's power. My first choices are all pretty close in power and worth consideration. Fool's Gold is great to hunt for more treasures, but I want to stay strong in the endgame and be able to cast spells. Chiron is nice if it ever lands on Triply, but I plan on getting out of dwarves soon if I don't find forge. Deck is typically a great choice, and one of the only tier 4 treasures that greatly affects the endgame. My next choices are similar, and I grab Forking Rod for similar reasons as before. It can help me gather strong units with Kidnap or For Glory, or change the outcome of a fight with Shrivel or Poison Apple. Without forge, and with level 6 creeping closer with each turn, I need a plan to get out of dwarves soon. I pass on taking the Tweedle pair, and roll for Neans, or strong scam units to start hedging away from dwarves. I find my Fanny triple, which gets me exactly what I was looking for, treasure map. With Hoard Dragon, I only need a level 4 upgrade to get my much needed tier 7 treasure. I roll into Nean, which is another easy way to get my treasure, then immediately find my level 4 triple, plus an XP spell to get me to level 6 one turn sooner. This is important, because if this treasure ends up being Grail, the XP will then get me to level 6 right on time for my Grail turn. I grab my tier 7 treasure and have a choice between Mirror Mirror and Holy Grail. Typically, this is a difficult choice, but with Hoard Dragon giving me additional level 7 treasures, and the fact I'm likely to survive this turn, Holy Grail is the easy choice. I grab my XP to make sure I'm level 6 for my 1000 gold turn. I want to take this time to go over some tips on how to utilize Grail. Many see Grail and panic roll, focusing only on specific units to further flesh out their current composition, but this is typically wrong. Without DC abusing, you typically only get to roll 40 times. Finding specific triples in 40 rolls is just not probable. The best way to use Grail is to sell your board and utilize your 11 slots to hold 5 pairs of tier 6 units. After grabbing every tier 6 you see, look to pair the first 5 you take, then only look for triples after that. With the final 20 seconds, look to reposition your units after each roll. With 40 rolls and using this strategy, you're likely to get 2 to 3 triples, and afterwards you'll have many pairs to triple later. Treasures are what carry you in the endgame, not units. Now, let's see how this Grail turns out.
Slow down, stepping up my game, tied to you, try not to sink on through the cracks, and maybe I could forget this time. Da 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 da
After 39 rolls, I was able to get 2 important treasures, a full-fledged endgame composition, and 4 extra pairs for more treasures later. I was able to turn my weak dwarves into the best endgame composition. An important note is to not waste your spell usage early. After getting a few treasures, you can potentially get double spells, and utilize that to get an easy treasure with Evil Twin like I did here. At this point, I'm only looking for Robin Wood, Ashwood Elm, and Echo Woods, as well as good spells to double cast. I find my Echo Wood triple and take Excalibur. This treasure is typically a huge noob trap, as it locks you out of getting more treasures, with the exception of Hercules. But with me having the best 2 treasures for this comp currently, it's the best choice to close this game out. Adding to the level 6 tree list, I'm now also looking for fairies. Echo Wood positioning is very important. Frontline, it's weak to Medusa and Apple Tree. Backline, it's weak to Cupid, especially when I can attack my own apple trees. Since I'm against Gwen, who I saw was Royals, he's only likely to have Cupid, so I want my Echo Tree in first position. I roll into Green Knight, which makes me way stronger on board, but since I'm against a ghost this turn, I decide to use that opportunity to look for the 4 best units. With Excalibur, chickens become free 2 gold, so make sure not to roll past them. Unfortunately, I don't find anything else this turn, but hopefully next turn I can improve my board. Again, I don't find the 4 units I'm looking for, and decide to spend the rest of my gold on plus 20 health for Elm. I haven't seen Galahad all game, so Echo Wood backline makes the most sense, as he's more likely to have Medusa or Apple Tree frontline. Neither player really poses a threat, and I could begin my search again. After 4 rolls, I double cast Pigomorph, which takes out 2 units from my opponent's board. This spell is why double cast is so powerful in the endgame. I freeze chicken for extra gold, plus I'm a bit hungry. I get down to the 1v1 against my fellow tree opponent. I collect my gold from chicken, double cast pig again, collect my gold from chicken, and finally, after over 30 rolls, I find one of the 4 units I'm looking for, and he's looking as ashy as ever. Positioning Echo Wood last is important to not have it attack into my opponent's now discovered apple tree. grab my Ashwood and also his friend Robin. I sell the double cast Shrivel and prepare to finish off my weaker tree nemesis. This game was a great showcase of how to make up for a late game hero's weakness, as well as how to creatively transition out of a weak composition directly into becoming the strongest player of the lobby. If you're given the option to go dwarves early on a late game hero, it's typically correct to take that line. Treasure map into upgrading Nian is a very common way to quickly transition into a powerful endgame composition with either Grail or Mirror Mirror. Hoard Dragon can do it smoother with upgrading a level 4 unit as well. And as we watch this final fight, I want to thank you all for watching. Let me know what you liked or disliked about this video in the comments below, and I hope to improve and bring more content like this in the future. Dark roads will cool